Welcome to another deck profile. Here's my Infinitrack deck profile. I am missing a couple of cards. And they are the expensive cards. Forgive me for the proxies. I will still read their effects as if it were to be on the card the best I can. Alright, let's get into this. So, starting off with the monsters, we have, of course, we're starting off with proxies. Triple Harvester. Harvester is the core of the deck. When it's the Searcher, it's the Oviraptor of the deck, basically. When you normal or special summon it, you can search to your hand any Infinitrack monster except Harvester. And then once per turn, same thing with Anchor Drill, which is another proxy. When you can target another monster, and Earth Machine monster, and their levels become the same. So if I do Harvester and Brutal Dozer, 2 and 5, they both become level 7. It's pretty much all you're going to use it for. Maybe Dustbot 003, which we'll get into. But pretty much the Searcher of the deck, it's level 2. That second effect is the same thing with Anchor Drill, but the first effect is different. When Anchor Drill is normal or special summoned, you special summon one Infinitrack monster from one Earth Machine monster from your hand. Typically you're going to combo that off with Brutal Dozer. Brutal Dozer is a pretty nice card. Make their levels become the same, except instead of level 7, it'd be level 9. Next, we have Triple Brutal Dozer. Brutal Dozer is absolutely amazing. All the Infinitracks from this point on have the effect to tribute an Earth Machine to special summon from the hand in defense position. So, I'm not going to read that every time. But when Brutal Dozer is special summon from the hand, whether it be by Anchor Drill or its own effect, you can special summon an Infinitrack from your deck, but for the rest of this turn you can only summon Earth Machines from your extra deck. No. In general, you can only summon Earth Machine monsters, and that monster's effect is negated. So you can't summon it, special summon Harvester, and then Harvester Search. But it does make it for an easy River Stormer. Next, we have Triple Infinitrack Trencher. Trencher is amazing. It has a similar effect as Brutal Dozer, but instead of from the hand, it's from the grave. Banish it from the grave, special summon one Infinitrack monster in the graveyard. And it doesn't negate its effects. And also all the Infinitracks have a once per turn. You can only see each effect once per turn. A combo you can do with this is Brutal Dozer, summon that has no effect on the field, unlike something like Drag Shovel or Crab Crane. And then you can Xyz summon River Stormer, Detach Trencher, River Stormer, Mill to the Grave Harvester, Spanish Trencher, Special Harvester, get your search. And that's really useful, especially when you only have one Harvester to play with. So, next we have, also this deck is very vulnerable to stuff like Ghost Ogre and Ash Blossom. But, Triple Crab Crane. I've seen people run 2 Crab Crane and 2 Drag Shovel. I prefer to run 3 Crab Crane because I like seeing that Outrigger extension more often. But it really doesn't make any difference. You can banish an Earth Machine to search out Outrigger extension to your hand, which is actually one of the core cards in the deck. Pretty basic there. Next, we're running the 1 Drag Shovel. It has the same thing as Crab Crane, except it's spin turn. It's a trap card. 1 Tunneler. You can banish it from your grave to target 5 Earth machines and shuffle them into the deck. And then draw 2 cards. It's pretty much a pot of avarice for Earth machines. Alright, that's it for the Infinitracks. Moving on to the non-Infinitracks. I'm running triple Deskbot 002 and triple Deskbot 003, which I do not have 2 copies of. When 003 is normal summoned, you can special summon 002. Well, in this case, you can special summon any Deskbot from your deck. And then when 002 is special summoned, you're allowed to search another Deskbot and add it to your hand. So how you would work this out is 003, special 002, 002 searches 003 to your hand to be able to do that next turn. Or you can summon 003, special 002, 002 searches 3, and then pull out machine duplication and special summon, special summon out I'm sorry, my TV just went berserk all of a sudden. But special summon out 2 more of 002, and then add all your 003s to your hand. That's a very nice effect. It's a very quick deck thing. Next, triple Flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede. Once again, stupid proxies. When it's normal summoned, normal or special, you can target 1 Earth Machine monster in your graveyard, except itself. Special summon it in defense, but negate its effects. You can target 1 other face-up monster you control. The level of that monster in this card becomes the level of the other. You cannot declare an attack the turn you activate this effect with Xyz, unless it's an Xyz monster. You can only use each effect once per turn. So you would normal summon it, special summon something like Trencher, or really anything, it doesn't matter. And then make them both level 4 or level 5 in this case. And then you would be able to Xyz summon. That's it for the monsters. It's a pretty good bulk of monsters. And I will be going over alternatives to the proxies, with the exception to Harvester and Anchor Drill. Alright, moving on to the spells. Triple Out Trigger Extension. I'd like to see this as much as possible. I've only seen people run 2. I value that Xyz rank up, and I actually do play a lot of games where spell trap zones get destroyed like as soon as they're played. Like, I'll go and play this, and then as soon as it gets played, it gets destroyed. Next, we have triple limiter removal. This is kind of optional. We can run heavy forward instead of it, or the next couple of cards. This deck is very, how can I describe it? You can play this deck several different ways. It's very flexible. But triple limiter removal, I like going for that OTK. Heavy forward is nice. I do not have it. If I do get heavy forward, I would probably take out limiter removal, or machine duplication. Next, 2 rank up Magic Astral's Force. Not necessarily always necessary, but it does come in handy. Especially when you just can't get your hands on Out Trigger. Because Out Trigger is... Technically you're running 6+ copies of Out Trigger. But there's always negates, Ash Blossom. As soon as it hits the field, someone could Cosmic Cyclone it, or MST it, Twin Twisters. Eldritch, for crying out loud, is crazy about that. But rank up Magic Astral's Force is a nice card. It ranks up 1 monster that's with the same type and attribute, but 2 ranks higher. So you could rank up level 5 to level 7, 7 to 9, and then 9 to 11. Once again, optional. probably take it out for heavy forward when I get my hands on it. But next we have one machine duplication. 3 works fine. 3 actually works pretty nicely. But there has been times that I have bricked with it in my hand. If you special summon Bulldozer or Anchor Drill, actually would be a better example. Summon Anchor Drill, and then you have no valid targets except a Harvester. Summon Harvester, you get a search if it's something like Brutal Dozer. In Brutal Dozer, special summon Harvester, its effect is negated. Throw down a machine duplication to special summon another Harvester from the deck that does get its effect. So that's nice. Or you can do it with the desk bots, as I said earlier. Next, one Foolish Burial. Send that Harvester to the grave, or if Harvester's already in the grave or in your hands, and Trencher, just so you can get that special summons. 1 card Destruction, pretty much the same reason, except it's the help of bricks, because this deck does have a history of bricking because on how many level 5s there are in the deck. But that's kind of why the desk bots are in here, to help out. And then for the traps, if you have Drag Shovel, you need to run at least 1 spin turn. But you can really run any trap in the deck you would like. Impermanence, you can run hand traps, Ash, Ghost Ogre. You could run really any trap card. Pulse Mines, Barrage Blast. Barrage Blast is one of the proxies. But just for the sake of this, triple spin turn. Spin turn's a very nice card. You can try out 1 Xyz machine, Earth Machine Xyz. In attack position, change it to defense, destroy a monster, or change it from defense to attack to destroy a spell trap card. Both effects are nice. Unfortunately, it's not a continuous trap card that you can hold on to, but it works. Moving on to the extra deck. 2 Earth Slicer. I don't really go into an Earth Slicer. I'm testing the deck. 3 of them, so it's not too big of a concern. You can detach any number of materials from this card to destroy that many cards on the field, including your own, which can be helpful in some. I'm sorry, I was not looking at the camera when I placed that. My bad. Special summon. Send Trencher specials. It's an example of a combo you could do. 2 Mountain Smasher. Mountain Smasher's not really gonna be. Or also, all the Xyz monsters have when they destroy an opponent's monster, they can attach it as an overlay in it. But Mountain Smasher, you're not really gonna go into. If you do, it's mainly going to be for the bridge between River Stormer and Earth Slicer. I have had 1 in here and bricked. I've had 3 and not even gone into the 3rd one. So, but double Mountain Smasher. This one was one of them that I was iffy about, was River Stormer. I decided to run 3 River Stormer. River Stormer is a really nice card. It's pretty much Harvester and or Foolish Burial for Infinitracks. You can detach a material, either search to your hand, or send to the grave 1 Infinitrack monster from your deck. So that would be a point to where you can detach if you don't have Foolish Burial, detach, send Harvester, and if what you detached was a Trencher, special summon Harvester by banishing Trencher, and there's another search. So that's really the only Infinitrack Xyz monsters. Next, Nova and Infinity. The only reason Nova's in here is so you can actually go into Infinity. I don't see this as often, but I have seen it from time to time. And it does come in handy when facing a lot of the effect one combo effect based decks, or one effect based combos. It does come in handy. Detaching that material to get those boss monsters off the field is also handy. Next, or last but not least, for the machine Xyz monsters, Libe. Libe is a fun monster to deal with. It is a 4,000 that you can use any rank 10 Xyz monster to summon, or not using rank 10s. But you can also use Outrigger Extension and Astral Force to rank up Earthslicer into Libe. Libe has always been one of my favorite monsters, but it's a monster. You can detach one material. It gains 2,000 attack points permanently, but it can be the only monster to attack that turn. It can attack each of your opponent's monsters once each for each Xyz material, +1. So if it has 5 or more Xyz materials on it, it can attack 6 or more times. On monsters only, but when it comes to Libe in this deck you don't mess around with. And then for a proxy that I know I have, I couldn't find it though, I just got it recently. Galaxy Eye Cypher Blade Dragon. This one's a pretty nice card to have in the deck. Takes 3 level 9 monsters to summon, or you can use a Galaxy Eyes monster. I was debating on running 2 Goliath instead of 3 and having Cypher Dragon in here. Both are easy to go into. The biggest problem I have though is the times that I need Cypher, I can't get Cypher. The times I need Cypher Blade, I can't get into it. But those times that I have summoned it, it has come in very, very useful. You can detach one material to destroy any card on the field. Any card your opponent controls. 3 level 9 monsters is not hard to deal with in this deck. Summon Anchor, Anchor special summon, really anything. And then if you do special summon Anchor with something like Trencher, special summon out Brutal, get another special summon that way. And then you normal summon Pegasus Stampede. Anchor targets Brutal, making them both level 9. And then Pegasus targeting either Anchor or Brutal, making itself level 9. You have 3 level 9 monsters in as simple as 1 turn. Moving on to the links, Triple Goliath. Goliath, you can... It just takes 1 non-link Infinitrack monster. Oh, I forgot to mention that all the Infinitrack Xyz monsters also have the effect to tribute a link monster to special summon themselves from the grave in defense position. But 3 Goliath, when Goliath is sent to the graveyard, you can equip it, or as an overlay unit, to any Xyz monster, machine Xyz monster. I tend to do it with Libe because if you have Outrigger Extension, Extension also protects your any Earth Xyz monsters from being targeted, and then while it's on an overlay, as an overlay unit, that monster can't be destroyed by card effects. If you have it on Libe, that's a 6, 8, 10 plus 1,000 attack Libe that they have to destroy by battle. Or use its effect to get rid of your back row and then lower its attack to 0. Which is always a possibility too, but you can't target it or destroy it by card effects, and you have to destroy a 6+K monster by battle. That gets in the way. And then for the last extra deck monster, I'm running the 1 Infinitrack Megaclops. I don't see Megaclops too often, but when I do see it, it does come in handy. Megaclops is unaffected by all monster effects except Xyz monster effects. So while it's on the field, I have absolutely no problem with it. But I'm only running the one. I've seen people run two. I've even seen some decks run none. But I decided to settle on one because when you do summon it, it is useful. But it does have its weak points. Alright. So, moving on to the proxies, possible proxies you can use, is you can always use Crusher Run for some of the traps, for one of the traps. You can use Pulse Mines. Barrage Blast is another good option. Pretty much going over what the rest of my deck is, minus the proxies. Barrage Blast or Deskbot 001 is useful. Or Monster Reincarnation. Send Harvester to the grave, Monster Incarnate it back by discarding something like Trencher, and then Trencher has an effect in the grave on top of you have a normal summon, or Anchor special, for later on. Or find another way to discard it so you have both Trencher and that in the grave. And then for the extra deck, Dig Vorzak, King of Heavy Industry, and Heavy Armor Train Iron Wolf. I've only seen Iron Wolf once or twice, and that's with Pegasus, but it allows an Earth Machine to attack directly, but no other monsters can attack. That's good to pair with Libe, because Libe's effect is only Libe can attack. So instead of making it attack monsters, why not just make it attack directly instead? Drop a limiter removal, that's game. But Dig Vorzak, you can takes 3 level 5s to summon. Heavy Armor Train takes 2 level 2s. Or 2 level 4s, my bad. And when Dig Vorzak, detach material, send the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck to the grave. And when how many ever monsters were sent is how many cards you can destroy on their field. Also, I'm sorry if like the Crusher Run and stuff were up above. But so those are nice. You got Monster Incarnation, discard to add back to your hand. Deskbot 001. It gains 500 attack for each machine type you control. If you control 2 or more machine type special summoned at the same time while this card's in your grave, so summon this card. You're not really going to see that unless you're using machine duplication, because this deck doesn't special summon twice at once, it just does it back to back. Barrage Blast can detach any number of materials to destroy any number of cards in the field. It's pretty much an Earth, makes whatever Xyz monster detaching Earth Slicer quick effect. You can detach any amount to pop any amount of cards on your opponent's field. And then if an Xyz monster is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card and that Xyz monster to destroy by battle a card effect not sent to the grave. And deal damage to your opponent equal to that rank times 200. You're not going to use that as much if you decide to run this. And then double Crusher Run. If an Earth Machine is destroyed, you can destroy 1 card on the field. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish it from your grave to search an extension or a spin turn to your hand, which is also nice to get your rank ups quicker. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. If you do have any questions or anything, you can message me on Instagram, as it says in all my other videos. I will have my username on Instagram below, and I will start doing links in the description, but I always forget. But go follow me on Instagram. If you want to see me do some duels, it would be terrible blurry wise, but I could do it because it would be a recording of a screen. But if you do want to see that, let me know. I will see you guys in another video. Peace out.